The BioShock universe finally expanded this week after multiple delays with the release of Infinite, the third game in the franchise. But instead of taking place in the underwater world of Rapture again, the developers decided to change the scenery to the sky city of Columbia. Was the wait worth it for this game, or should it remain drowned under the sea?
Much longer. One goes into an experiment knowing one could fail.
One does not undertake an experiment knowing one has failed.
Can we get back to the rowing?
I suggest you do, but we're never going to get there.
No, I mean I'd greatly appreciate it if you would assist.
Perhaps you should ask him. I imagine he has a greater interest in getting there than I do.
I suppose he does, but there's no point in asking.
Why not?
Because he doesn't row.
He doesn't row?
No, he doesn't row.
Ah, I see what you mean.
It's 1912 and the game begins with you controlling Booker DeWitt, a private eye who has a considerable debt to a group called the Pinkertons. But they've offered a way for him to wipe away the debts. Go to Columbia and bring them the girl. This said girl in question is called Elizabeth, but it's never that easy since Columbia has detached itself from the rest of America. How, you may ask? Well, it's become a floating city, of course. But unlike the original BioShock with Rapture being a total mess, this is a living, breathing society. You get to see how they live and it really brings the game to life. This perfect society shows its true colours soon enough though, and it's disturbing to see how they have twisted American history, the racism, the rebel uprising and the zealotry of its religion. The religion is led by the prophet Father Comstock, who led the people to the skies of Columbia and has some kind of ability to predict the future. He has seen your coming and branded you as a false shepherd of this so-called religion, since you're going to take away their miracle child. You're not at a disadvantage though, since there are two unusual allies aiding you to eventually rescue Elizabeth. But of course it's not that simple, with twists and turns around every corner.
What was that?
Surprising.
Surprising that it worked?
Surprising that it didn't kill him.
But a magnetic repulsive field around one's body can come in handy.
If it doesn't kill you.
A fair point.
Infinite takes the same world mechanics of the previous Bioshocks but in a more open environment. Using the same looting mechanics, you'll be scavenging for food to restore health and salt, which lets you use tonics, aka your magic abilities. You can also find new clothing which will change how your abilities work as well, from speed increase or causing explosions to happen when you cause critical damage. What makes this different from previous Bioshocks are Elizabeth and the skyline. Elizabeth will be travelling with you throughout the game, but you don't need to worry about protecting her in combat like in Resident Evil 4 or Ico. She will seek cover and scavenge the area for ammo, health kits and salt to throw at you when you're in need. But her most important ability is she can rip tears in the universe to bring them through to our side. These could be auto turrets, full blown cover, skyline hooks or weaponry. It's quick and easy to do. Just look at the location of the tear and press the button and it will appear. Then you also have access to the skyline. This is a zipline system that connects all the different buildings together in Columbia. You'll be using it to scale up to new heights and to take advantage of your enemies' positions, or you could just jump at your enemies and knock them off the side of buildings.
Give me one of those.
With just a whisper, they're all ears.
Infinite is very similar from the previous Bioshocks for combat. You have a savage melee attack and weapons from that era like pistols, machine guns, shotguns, etc. You can only carry 2 weapons at a time, but the enemies drop weapons all the time and in the environment as well. But it's the iconic abilities of the Bioshock series that make the combat interesting and varied. Like in the original Bioshock where you injected plasmids, you can now drink so-called tonics that give you otherworldly abilities, from your basic fireballs and lightning attacks to the much stranger turning your arm into a tentacle to grab enemies and sending out murderous crows that you can stun your enemies with. There are 8 tonics in total and you can swap between them on the fly. The game doesn't punish you either to experiment since salt is aplenty. You can then upgrade the ones you find more useful with the cash scattered around the world, and you can also upgrade your weaponry as well. The enemies you face are generally human opponents, but there are a lot of steampunk style robots and genetically engineered creatures such as the Handyman to contend with. Not too many enemy types, but they do change their appearance in each area, so it doesn't feel like you're fighting the same opponents time and time again. The newest thing to the game is a Halo type shield that recharges out of combat. Very useful in tight spots when you have no health, but if that fails you, the death penalty isn't that severe. There's a small cash penalty, but Elizabeth will restore you to the last checkpoint, but any enemies you killed ahead will not respawn, so you are always making progress one way or the other.
You alright?
Where am I?
Back in the land of the living. Here, let me.
I'll be fine.
You almost drowned. You need to...
I said I'm fine. Just give me a minute.
Do you hear that? It's music.
Go on, I just need to...
Okay, I won't be long. I won't be long, Mr. DeWitt.
Infinite is one of the most beautiful, breathtaking worlds you will explore this year. The first time you enter Columbia, you will be lost for words. Then you have Elizabeth herself. You can tell a lot of attention has been put into creating her character. From the motion capture to create realistic body and facial animations, to her voice acting. You can believe she was real, but that's not all. Like the way she interacts with the environment when you're looting an area, she'll casually relax against the scenery or examines things around the area. A lot of effort has also been put into all the other characters you will meet in the game as well. Music is a particular highlight. It sets the mood perfectly in and out of combat. There are also a lot of nice sound keys in combat as well. Infinite is a story that should be experienced by all gamers. From the world that's been created, the backstory of all the characters, and of course, one of the most mental game endings I've seen in a long time. A lot of thought and effort has been put into this game, and I feel sorry for non-gamers who will not get the chance to experience it. There is even more content coming in the future with Season Pass, and after that ending, I can't wait to see what they do. So yeah, my recommendation? Go buy this game now. If you enjoyed this video review, you can check out my playthrough of BioShock Infinite in the annotations below, or subscribe to my channel. You can also follow me on Twitter at Jamie Winstanley.